A biomechanical risk assessment of lifting tasks in the logistics industry in the Philippines. Good day, everyone. I am Professor Janice Gumasing from the School of Industrial Engineering and Engineering Management in Mapuan University, Philippines. Mapuan University is known to be one of the best engineering schools situated in the heart of Manila. Today, I will be presenting my first research paper entitled A Biomechanical Risk Assessment of Lifting Tasks in the Logistics Industry in the Philippines. For the flow of my presentation, first I will be discussing the introduction, which includes the background of the study and objectives of the research. Next, the methodology that will discuss the research design, statistical tools, and ergonomic tools that were used in the study, followed by results and discussion that will explain the findings of the research, and finally, conclusion that will summarize the evidences and findings in the study. For the introduction and background of the research, since the study focuses on the biomechanical risk of lifting tasks in logistics industry, let me first discuss what is logistics. Logistics can be defined as management of the flow of goods, information, and other resources such as energy and people between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet the requirements of the consumers. Logistics also involve the process of manual material handling, manual packing, and other various activities that need manpower strength that may cause physical stress for a long period of time and repetition of tasks that may involve accidents such as musculoskeletal disorder, fatigue, injuries, and other respiratory diseases. Previous studies have revealed that musculoskeletal disorders are most prevalent occupational health problems affecting manual workers. In the Philippines, there are 125,974 reported cases of MSDs in establishments employing 20 or more workers. The work-related MSD escalated during the two-year period from 2013 to 2015, accounting to 58.5% of all injuries and illnesses cases for all industries. It was also reported that 1 out of 3 occupational diseases recorded were back pains, which is 32.8%, and back pain is the highest in industries involving manual labor, such as in logistics industry. In all kinds of work, workload and inappropriate posture may expose employees to injuries and musculoskeletal disorders. Risk factors that may contribute to work musculoskeletal disorders and discomfort may include awkward posture, material handling, repetition, force, mechanical compression, vibration, temperature extremes, glare, inadequate lighting, and duration of exposure. Therefore, risk factors associated with musculoskeletal disorders should be identified in order to develop mitigation plan to prevent MSDs and injuries of workers in logistics industry. For the methodology, the researchers conducted the study among the 3 largest logistics companies in the Philippines, namely LBC Express, JRS Express, and DHL Express. A total of 55 respondents were involved in the study, including 42 logistics or courier workers, 4 drivers, and 9 supervisors and managers. The researchers have conducted review of related literature, direct observation, survey, interview, and actual data gathering in order to identify occupational risk factors in the lifting tasks of workers. The factors considered in the study were classified into 2, namely personal-related factors, that includes age, BMI, years of service, and for task-related factors, we have frequency of lifts, weight lifted, lifting posture assessment, and duration of lift. For the postural assessment, the researchers used Nordic Musculoskeletal Questionnaire in order to determine the discomfort location and common types of musculoskeletal disorders experienced by logistics workers when performing their task. The NMQ has been widely used to assess the nature and severity of self-related musculoskeletal symptoms. The questionnaire includes items asking about the experience of MSD in different body areas over the past week and over the past year. Thus, weekly and annual prevalence of MSD can be derived. Postural analysis was also done in order to gather data for task-related factors. The researchers used REBA, or Rapid Entire Body Assessment, to evaluate the whole body postural MSD and measure risk associated with the task of the workers. NIOSH lifting equation was also used to assess the manual material handling risk of workers associated with lifting and lowering tasks in their job. Descriptive measures were also used to provide an analysis of occupational risk factors obtained from data gathering. This helped the researchers to come up with analysis and draw appropriate conclusions without bias. Collected data from survey, interview, and observations were arranged in a manner of which the data can be easily interpreted through the use of frequency count and percentage distribution. In addition, the factors considered in the study were statistically treated and analyzed using correlation analysis and regression method. Correlation analysis was used to determine the strength of relationships between the occupational risk factors considered in the study to the musculoskeletal disorders and injuries experienced by the workers. Moreover, the significant factors identified were further analyzed using multiple regression analysis to examine the relationship of the predictors and determine how they affect the musculoskeletal disorders and injuries of workers in their lifting task. For the results and discussion, the table showed the summary of injuries experienced by workers in the logistics industry for the past 3 years, from 2015 to 2017, gathered from interview, survey, and historical records of companies. In addition, result of NMQ is also presented to allow comparison of the musculoskeletal disorders and complaints experienced by workers in their lifting tasks for the past 12 months and last 7 days, which has prevented their normal activity. Overall, the MSD symptoms were widely reported by the participants of the study. 85% of the respondents reported that they had experienced MSD in the past 12 months, while 24% of the respondents reported that they had experienced MSD over the past 7 days. It can be observed that lower back injury and lower back pain is the most prevalent MSD reported, followed by shoulder, upper back, wrist or hands, hips or thighs, neck, elbow, knees, and ankles or feet for the past 12-month and 7-day period. And in order to validate the cause of discomfort and MSD of workers, the researchers conducted Rapid Entire Body Assessment, or REBA. The result of REBA scores indicated that the current posture of workers in lifting and carrying of cargo posed high risk of MSD for workers, primarily to upper limb and lower back. That is why the task postures must be investigated and changed immediately. Based on the analysis made on the present lifting task posture of workers, the NIOSH lifting equation illustrated that the tasks such as stacking of cargo and lifting of cargo for scaling and weighing pose an increased risk for lifting-related low back pain and injury for some fraction of the workforce. To further analyze the data, correlation analysis was used to show the relationship of risk factors gathered from initial assessment of data to the occupational MSDs and injuries of workers in the logistics industry. The result is shown in the table. Based on the results, factors that have strong positive correlation to MSD experienced by workers in their tasks are the following: frequency of lifts, weight lifted, and lifting posture. While factors such as age, BMI, work posture, and duration of lift have only moderate correlation to MSD. This explains that as the value of these factors increases, the severity of MSD of workers also increases. These factors were further treated and analyzed using regression analysis to verify true predictors of MSD of workers as shown in the equation. The model summary for the regression model incurred an adjusted R of 85.4% and 86.32% with coefficient correlation values of 0.812 and 0.832 respectively, which explain that independent variables in the equation are strong predictors for the MSD and injuries of workers in the logistics industry. Given the results of the study, in order to minimize the risk of workers for MSDs and injuries due to manual lifting tasks, the researchers were able to recommend manual material handling and lifting techniques. First, lift the load properly. The use of diagonal foot position and getting close to the load as possible is the ideal lifting procedure. Lifting from the floor minimizes strain in the lumbar spine. Second, carry the load properly. The worker should keep all loads as close as to one's center of gravity. And when lifting anything with a handle, one hand should be placed on one knee to get additional leverage, and a diagonal foot position should be used. Next, use the three-point contact. When climbing with a load, three-point contact is important for safety. This means two hands in a foot or both feet and a hand must be in contact with the ladder or stairs at all times. Next, push or pull the load. Manual material handling may require pushing or pulling. Pushing is generally easier on the back than pulling. It is important to use both the arms and legs. A handle would ideally be waist high for ease of pushing. And finally, pivot. Pivoting means moving the shoulders, hips, and feet with the load in front at all times. The lower back is not designed to torque or for repetitive twisting. When having manual material handling, always avoid twisting the back. Finally, for the conclusion, the findings of the study have proven that workers in logistics industry are exposed to risks of musculoskeletal disorders and injuries due to heavy exposure to manual material handling and lifting tasks. The risk was evident on the scores generated by Reba and Nayosh, computed from their body postures while performing tasks. Based on the result of NMQ, majority of the respondents experienced pain in their lower back, upper back, hips or thigh, shoulder, and wrist. Several risk factors were considered in the study based on review of related literature, direct observation, and interview from the people involved in the task. It was also determined using statistical analysis that risk factors contributed to the MSDs and injuries of workers are the following: age, body mass index, frequency of lift, weight lifted, lifting posture, and the duration of lift. These significantly affect the risk and exposure of workers to MSD and work injury. The identified factors serve as the basis for the researchers to develop proper manual material handling techniques and lifting techniques to minimize the MSD and injuries experienced by workers. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions and queries regarding this research study, you may contact me through email or mobile number as shown.